What is this part? What is that part? Heel turn. What if I add this? Hello sweet friends, it's Sarah at Crochet.With.Coffee, and thank you so much for joining me for this week's vlog. I have a couple things planned for this week and a couple things that I've already done that I'm going to sneak in here so that you can see what I've been up to so far this week. I have these socks that I am making for my husband. I need to wind up some more yarn. I've got this other cake of yarn that I need to wind up because I finished one sock and I finished about that much. It's like 5 rows before I need to start the heel of these knitted socks. So I need to wind up yarn for the rest of the sock. So I got maybe like 1 1/3 of a sock with one skein. So I will have quite a bit left. So I could save this for something like heel, toe, and cuffs on another pair of socks so that there's that little extra color for something like that. But this is what I have going so far. So I need to wind up that yarn today so I can continue working on those socks. I also need to take a trip over to Hobby Lobby this week. This is their week of 50. I said this in the live. I said 50% off in our Wednesday live, and I misspoke. It is 30% off every other week for yarn at Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to go over there. There's some cotton yarn that I love, this cotton yarn that I wanted to pick up because there's this really cute makeup bag that I want to make, and it is using cotton yarn from Hobby Lobby, and I just want to use that. I have some other cotton, but it's like in the cone, and it's not nice cotton. It's the Lily Sugar and Cream. So I want to get the nice cotton. I want to do that. I also have to pick up some cat food at Costco, which is right next door to my Hobby Lobby, so that will be nice. And I have another project that I want to share with you that I have been working on recently. I put the mushroom cardigan, the one that I'm recreating from that AI picture that supposedly was a pattern, and I bought it and it's not. Since I want that cardigan really bad, I'm recreating it and I'm going to share a how-to with you guys. So I put that one on hold because this teacher cardigan that I'm making is so cute. It popped into my head and I needed to make it right away or it was gonna, disappear and I would never be able to recreate it in my brain again. So I'm gonna show you the bits and pieces that I have made of that so far so you can see what I have going with that. I'll share more about it on Monday as well. But that is what I have planned this week. And, we'll get some little bits and pieces of everything else that I'm doing. So let's start with winding up this yarn. It broke. This is from Michael's. $35. It broke. Maybe I can figure something else out with this, but the threads on the inside of there just snapped. They just wore right off. How disappointing is that? All right, maybe I can figure out some type of way to keep this here, but then it is wood on wood, so it's not spinning very smoothly. So I think I'm gonna go grab my plastic one because that one did not do me wrong at all. So we're gonna swap this out for the plastic one. What a bummer. All right, here's the plastic one. It's sad, but it works so much better than that wooden one. So I don't know if I'm going to return that other one or if I'm going to maybe see if my husband can figure out some hardware on it. I'm sure he'd enjoy the challenge of trying to figure out how to get that thing to work. It definitely needs like its own separate screw in there and all kinds of stuff. All right, already works better. I'm glad that thing did not collapse while I was actually, well, the skein was actually moving on it. That would have been really, really bad. All right, I'm gonna straighten out the strands, making sure they're all flowing in the correct direction and they're not twisted. And then we will cut these strands holding it together. All right, looks pretty good. Let's start cutting these off. I got the tag. Here's the tag if you are interested. The color is Gumdrop. That's the little tag. And they also have this cute little nutrition label on the back. Thought that was adorable. And I got this one on sale. It was not $28. Let's attach it to the cake winder. Okay. Got our lovely little cake here. We are all ready to start back on the socks so I can get the second half of the sock done and the heel and all that stuff. So good to go on that. Let's take this buddy down. And until further notice, this is going to be the go-to Yarn Swift. All right. He's gonna live under the desk now. So now this is all set to continue working on the sock. I'm all set with another skein. We'll see if the pattern ends up being the same or if I can see a difference. I am gonna do a few rows probably today to just catch up on the leg of this so I can start the heel. As much as I love the Crazy Sock Lady, I do, and her vanilla sock pattern, I do want to find a good short row heel pattern or tutorial or something. If you have any, let me know. I had one that was really good that I used with DK sock yarn, or that I made with DK weight yarn, and I really loved the socks and I loved that heel. So I think I could probably do it in the thinner yarn, but we'll find out. I just need to find that tutorial again. I don't even know where I found it. So I need to revisit that to find that whole system again. But you want to look at the yarn that I got at the thrift store the other day? So first off, I'm going to take you over there and you can take a little peek at what I found, and then I'll show you what I brought home. Okay, you ready to see what I got? I got this lovely huge bag. I did find some sweaters there, so that's why I got such a huge bag, but let me show you what is in here and what I plan to do with it. All right, so these are all boucle yarns. So I'm gonna show you what I got, and then as you're watching, maybe you can guess what I'm planning on making with these, because I just finished something that uses similar yarn. So Leave your guesses in the comments if you'd like. But this is a lovely boucle yarn. This one is Pearl Essence, and this is a Joann's brand. Good old Joann. So this one is saying to use a 5.5mm hook. That is what it looks like. It's very textured right there. So if you've never used this kind before, it is pretty cool. Looking at this also reminded me that I have some of this left over from a project I made a million years ago, and I got the yarn at AC Moore. Does anybody remember AC Moore? It was a lovely craft store. It also is no longer. But I have some of this. It is like a maroon and tan color from what I remember. So I need to see if I can find that again. But that is the one color, and it is in the color Warms with Pink. And then this one is the color Koala. So this is also Joann's. This is Buttercream Luxe Craft. This is from Joann in the color Koala. Some really pretty colors there. And then I have this one also from Joann. I'm assuming all of these are, but this is the last one with a label. And this is in the color Dark Gray. So pretty. Just grays, blacks, and white. Now for the ones that they have no label. We're going to start with the one that I think is about a full skein. And look at the colors of this one. Browns and green and that teal-ish color. Oh, I love it. It's so nice. So cool. So we've got that one. And then this one is going to need some love and care because I don't know where the end is. Well, actually, no, I do know where the end is, but I don't know where it leads. And it scares me a little bit because I don't know how tangled this is going to be. But there's those pretty maroons and reds. And then this one was just, I think, caked up at the end, just a little bit of some of that blues and teal and a little bit of that greenish gray color. So that is what we have here. And I'm excited to get working on something made with these. Did you guess what it is that I'm going to make? My plan is to make more of the Mossy Trail cardigan with these yarns. I think that would be perfect because the yarn that I used from Temu is very similar to this boucle. It is, it's a more of a variety of textures. This one is just like one of the textures in there. The other yarn that I used from Temu has more of a, like, it's a fuzzy and it turns into this and then goes back to fuzzy, and it has a whole lot of color changes. So I think this is going to be perfect. So these are going to go back in a bag so they don't tangle. And then back in the big bag that I had them in. So those will be a future project. Now I want to show you the teacher cardigan that I've been working on and tell you a little bit about that. So let me go get the pieces and I'll start showing you all of that. So let me go get the pieces. Here we go. So just a few things. My battery is running low, so I need to show you this real quick before my battery dies. These are the pieces. So I have this one. This is going to be a front panel. See? Can you guess what this is going to be? No guesses yet? All right. See if I can add to the clues. What about this? If I add this over here, do you know what that is? What if I add a sleeve over here? Can you tell what that is? What if I add this sleeve? Can you tell what that is? All right, what if I show you the back? This is the back. Can you tell what that is? All right, so none of the details are on here yet, but maybe by this one and this one, you're able to kind of guess what this cardigan is. So this is going to be the front section, and we're going to put lines on it. So all of these are made with single crochet, and there's going to be a tutorial for it. It's going to be very simple because it's all single crochets. You just need to know when to change your yarn color because they're all straight rows of color. And then there'll be more detail in the tutorial for the details. But before my battery dies, I just need to show you. This is going to be a ruler. So we're going to have measurement lines over here. This is a pencil. And it's going to go, so eraser, the metal connecting piece to the wood portion of the pencil, and then you're going to have a pencil point down on the bottom. This is a marker, like a washable marker. That's going to be the sleeve over here. The cuff is going to be the same color as the green stripes. And this is a crayon. Can you see it? Can you see the crayon? And then this one is the back panel, and it is a piece of paper, piece of lined paper. And we're gonna end up doing the little holes here. I'm so excited. The little paper holes on the side, and we're gonna add that little stripe of red down that part too. So that is what I have going on right now. This is what I've been like fully focused on. It's all I've been doing. And everything else has been put on the side. And I am so excited to get this done so I can get the tutorial ready. It is going to be called the A+ cardigan, and it is meant for teachers. And I just thought it would be a really cute addition to the classroom if a teacher wants to wear that. I also have a special thing planned for the trim and what that is going to be, but all of these little details here are made with slip stitches, and they stick up above the actual single crocheted piece of fabric. So I am so excited to continue working on this and to get the pattern out, or tutorial. We don't do patterns yet, but the tutorial for this, and it's very simple, but it takes a lot of commitment to the single crochets. So if you're a single crochet whiz, you can get through it really easily. It's very, very easy, and the little details add so much to it by what I have already tested out. So very excited on this one. And I'm just gonna continue working on this and continue working on the socks today. And we will probably do our shopping trip another day this week. Let's get working on these little things so I can also plug in my phone. But I'm going to continue working on this for the rest of the evening, and I think that's about it. So I will see you back here tomorrow, and hopefully we have a shopping trip, a yarn shopping trip tomorrow. So I will see you at that point.
Crochet has brought so much to my life, and I just love it. And to see so many of you enjoying it too, it makes me happy. It just makes me happy. So I am so grateful for this platform and being able to do this. So that should have been 10.
Today, I want to show you a little bit of what I was doing today. I didn't do an intro before I left the house because I left early. I went to the gym. I stopped at Hobby Lobby. I got cat food, which when I brought it home, the cat chewed a hole in the bag because I guess she was hungry and decided to have her Thanksgiving dinner. I'm finally getting a chance to record, and I want to show you what I did and the stuff that I found at Hobby Lobby. I also stopped at a thrift store, and sorry about that, I just got a call from Michael's about the Swift and replacing that. So I need to find the receipt and see if they can return it for me or swap it out or something. I don't know. But anyway, so I went and did some thrifting today. I'm going to show you what I found and what I picked up. And also, we're going to go through what I got at Hobby Lobby, and I'll show you an update on what I have completed for my crochet items and my next steps for that. Let's go on a shopping trip, and then I'll meet you back here and I'll show you what I got. At Hobby Lobby. I will show you all of that stuff and what I found in a second, but I want to show you an update on what I got accomplished as far as my projects go. So this was the last piece that I had to finish for the teacher cardigan, which I'm going to be calling it the A+ cardigan. I'm excited about that. But we have the back piece. Now, all of these, other than the crayon piece, this has some extra designs on it. Everything else is just the crochet, and I need to add the extra designs on it because I was doing this one as a test run with these designs just to see if they worked the way I wanted them to work. And then I have a couple designs on each one planned. So this is the back panel. That is our little piece of paper that I have. This is going to be steamed. It's a little wavy on top and everything, you know how it gets. But anyway, this is the back panel. I'm so excited. So all the pieces are complete. Now I get to record. Very excited to keep going with that one. And I have an update on my socks that I'm doing. So I got my skein, my cake attached, and I have finished the heel flap and gusset. I'm just decreasing a little bit with the way that the instructions say to finish the foot part. So I got the heel flap and the, what is this part? What is that part? You know, the heel flap and the heel turn. And then I'm closing up the top part a little bit, decreasing to make it the right size for the opening. And this one I actually have, it's 100% wool yarn that I'm using. So you guys were telling me to add nylon to it. So this has been added to the foot portion because when I started the other one, I didn't have it for the leg. And then when I started the heel and the foot of the first one, I added that in there. So I did the same thing for this one. So there wasn't any difference between the two. So that's the update on the sock. And now, what did I get when I was shopping? So while thrifting, really the only thing that I found today was these double pointed needles that I'm actually going to use in future for heels because she was teaching on the vanilla sock tutorial. She was saying that double pointed needles or DPNs work better for the heel flap. So next time I make them, I'm going to use these just to see if that works better because she was saying it hurts her hands to do it on a 9-inch circular needle that I have here. And I've done them on with Magic Loop before with the longer cabled needles, but I wanted to try it out with these since she suggested that. So I have these for next time, so I'm going to put them in my box. The only thing is I think I will probably have to keep looking for ones this size because they are a tiny bit worn. And I did clean them, so that's not coming off. And yeah, a little bit of a spot on there. So I will probably have to keep shopping for more of this size, but that's okay. I'll keep searching for that. But let's check out what I found at Hobby Lobby. And I found more than just yarn, and I'm going to show you and share with you what I got. I found so many colors there in the cotton and the I love this cotton, but there weren't any that I really liked. Like there weren't any that just stood out and I was like, "Oh, this is perfect." Because there was always a color that I was like, "I really don't like that one color. I like the rest of it, but that one color just throws off the whole color palette." And I wasn't a fan. So that was a struggle today. I stood there for an unreasonable amount of time looking at this cotton yarn. And I was like, do I really need the I love this cotton yarn for it? I know that that's what the pattern uses, but this other cotton I did see some really pretty cottons over in the Crafter's Secret. Is that the name of it? That one was really pretty. I found a couple that I really liked in there, but they just, for one, there wasn't enough of the color that I really liked. And then I was thinking it's probably the wrong texture. It's not as soft, and all these reasons why I wasn't going to get that. And so I just decided to go with the I Love This Cotton. And I decided to go with something that I would not normally choose because I was like, if nothing is here that falls in my favorite color palette, I'm just going to go completely opposite and just roll with it. And so I will show you the yarn that I picked and also the other extras that I got. This is the yarn that I decided to go with after looking at all the fall colors. There was one that was called Harvest. It was like pinks and orange and red and yellow, but it was like the pink. I didn't like the pink. I was like, why wasn't it brown instead or something? And then, you know, everything had just one color that I just wasn't a fan of, and it should have just been switched with something else. But anyway, I ended up going with this one. It's very pretty, but I would not typically go with this. It has grays and blues and pink and yellow. It could maybe be considered a good baby color because it has some baby tones in there. This one is called City Beat. So I got two of them. The pattern says it needs about 210 yards, and one of these is 153 yards. So I got two. I was going back and forth of wanting to do these, like these 4 fall colors together and just alternate rows, which I may do in the future, but I also didn't want to spend $20 on a bag. And it is the 30% off. So I got these. They were each $4.49 a piece with the 30% off of that. And that's also kind of expensive for one little bag. But I did really want to try out this pattern because it's so cute. I'll put it up on the screen so you can see it, but it's this little makeup bag or cosmetic bag or whatever you want to use it for. And it ties on the top instead of like a zipper closure or something like that. It's a tie. So I thought that was super cute. So really excited about that. And then I also, while I was there, saw one of these hanging things for free pattern. Isn't that so cute? So if you are interested in these, I think you can find them on the Hobby Lobby website, but there were a lot of really cool patterns. So on the bottom it says hobbylobby.com, and I'm assuming you could probably find the pattern there. And let's look at the ones on the inside. That scarf is so cute. And then, is there more? Oh, there's more. Okay, so there's that one. Cute. And then there's a bag on the inside. I do have a pattern or a tutorial for a bag kind of like this on my channel too. That shape with the three squares folded into triangles. I thought that this was really cute. So this one has a tote pattern in it. Oh, and look at the bottom right there. Can you see those little pillows? Those are cute. So I always forget to look at some different websites like that. So Hobby Lobby, hobbylobby.com. Check it out and see if there's patterns on there. But anyway, that was that I found. That was one of those free just hanging ones. You can take whatever. And I got some hooks because my favorite hooks are there. And I'll just show you what I got. I always buy these hooks when I'm there just in case they ever change them or they run out or something. They have raised the price, I think by 50 cents from when I used to buy them. They're like $1.79 and now they're $2 $29. So they raised the price a little bit, but these are my absolute favorite hooks. And I just buy a couple every time I go. So this is the 5.5mm, and I know the colors and the sizes with all of these, so it's just really nice to have. So I always get a couple of the 5.5 because I use those all the time, and I always lose them in the couch cushions, or I leave them in a project basket or something. So I always need more. And then I normally get 1 or 2 of these 5mm in the brown. And today I went a little crazy and I got a 6mm and a 6.5mm just to have them on hand because I'm always losing these two. So got those, and then a couple more things. This one is also a useful, functional thing. So I was getting this kind, and I need to maybe donate these or something, but these are the size 16. These are the ones I got a ton of. And you see at the top how it says 7 mesh? That can be used for like plastic canvas. So I might keep them for something like that. But that is not what I like to use, and I'll show you the difference. This is the one that I really like to use. It's the steel yarn needle. So you can see up here, it says steel instead of the 7 mesh. And I'll show you the difference, but they're both size 16. So I got a few of those just so that I have my stash. So this one, let me just open the pack for you so I can show you the difference between the two. So on the back of this one, the steel one, it says that it's a blunt point for needlepoint weaving, joining knitted items and plastic canvas. And then this one with the 7 mesh says blunt point for use with 7-point mesh plastic canvas. So this one is specifically for plastic canvas, and this one is for multi-use. But the reason why these I think are better than these, the 7 mesh ones, look at the point difference on these. The eye of the needle is the same. And then this is the mesh. So hopefully you can see. This is a very blunt end, and this is a very pointed end. Hopefully you can see the difference there. So the blunt end does not go through the yarn as smoothly as the pointed end. So the mesh 7 has a very blunt end, and the steel has a very pointed end. See that? So I prefer these, but I got the size 16 in the mesh ones because I just thought size 16 was size 16. And I didn't realize there was a difference. So that is what I choose when I have an option. I choose the more pointed ones than the more blunt ones because they weave in the ends better from what I've found. So just a little Hobby Lobby trick if you're ever looking. And then one more thing before I go. I got a keychain. I just thought it was so awesome. So look at that pretty little iridescent bead, and then coffee is always a good idea. And if you guys were there on Wednesday, on the live on Wednesday, I was talking about my mocha pot, and that is the type of coffee little pot. You do it on the stove for my espresso. So I thought that was perfect. It has little coffee beans over here too. So cute. And then a non-related item to anything is I got in the mail because I ordered on Amazon. I got these little stick-on nails. I love the Impress nails. They last so long for me. And they're just like a gel like stick-on. There's no glue. They don't damage your nails if you just let them wear, at least for me. And they kind of just pop off later. Like mine will last 2 or 3 weeks. These are my favorite. And I needed a little refresh because, let me just show you. Don't mind how terrible they look right now, but when I got my nails done at the salon, they really like took a chunk out of my nails and they really damaged them a lot. So they're not great looking. So I wanted to put those on so they can help them grow out. Super excited about all these finds. I'm gonna put my hooks away, my needles away. I'm gonna start this bag and hopefully I have more to share with you guys on Monday. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day and I hope you find joy in the little things.